Oh, for the record,
For the record, Chuck Killian, President of the Lebanon County Firefighters Association. In front of you is a little bit about what we're going to go through. I want to give you the status of the fire school down behind Votech. I am not asking for anything at this time. It's more of an informational purposes at this point. And I think, if you don't know, Ron Miller, ex-chief of the Ebenezer Fire Company, and also in charge of the fire training for Lebanon County, and Dan, I'm sure Dan will have a couple words also. One of the things I was asked about was, you guys give us $7,500 a year, and where does that money go to? In the handout, you'll see that the monies are split evenly between the fire marshal, fire prevention, and the fire school. Fire prevention, that's what most of my conversation today is going to be about, is about that burn building. That burn building being out of commission is hampering training that goes on down there. County companies are leaving Lebanon County to go elsewhere, hack up in Harrisburg at the fire school, or even over to Lancaster fire school. South Lebanon has just scheduled a training over in Lancaster, which is costing them about $650 to go over there. And hack charges about $250 for every 4 hours of training. So about $400 or $500 a day to go up there. Before, they were doing that in Lebanon County at no cost of their own. Now they're having to pay out of their pockets to go elsewhere. And that's just money that they have to pay to the school, never mind the money that they have to pay for gas and everything else to get there. You'll see that the numbers that we have for this year, for 2009, that school is used heavily down there. These numbers are very conservative, and on a conservative basis, we're figuring about 23,000 man-hours of training has been held down there just this year alone. Every fire company has a key to get into the facility, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We don't know when they go down there, other than seeing them down there on like Monday nights, which is a typical training night for the fire companies. So we're averaging, we just said 4 companies a week down there are training, but we know it's more than that, but we have really no way at this point to know how much it's really happening down there. So as you can see, the school is used quite heavily. There's other organizations which use the school. We have 45 fire companies in Lebanon County. You have the Pennsylvania State Police which use it. They were down there in the spring. They do rappelling off the tower. The Lebanon County Prison uses it. Lebanon County Votech, Hazmat, and we are a Firefighter 1 certified site in Pennsylvania. Not every fire school is certified Firefighter 1. We are a Firefighter 1 certification site. We're not sure where our certification stands at this point without having a burn building, but one of the skill sets that they have to perform for Firefighter 1 doesn't involve a burn in a building, so we think we're still okay. To give you a little bit of a history of the burn building. The burn building was built 10 years ago, and when it was built on 2 different foundations because of the cost. They ran into the building has 10 years worth of fires that have been going on in it. The building has been contracting and retracting, and it has leaked over the years. That's always been known. It's not something that's usually a big deal, especially down south. But up here in the Northeast, what happened, especially this year, was water got down into the building. Behind the ceramic tiles, there's insulation, and that insulation froze, got wet, froze, and literally blew the ceramic tiles off the wall. High temperature linings is the ones that did our high temp linings in the rooms. They called me and said, you might want to check on your burn building, because they know we don't, like most places, don't go down there during the winter. went down there and found this situation. He had had this situation in other areas of the Northeast. They removed all the tiles to see what was salvageable, what wasn't salvageable. They had determined at this point that until the building gets fixed, that they're not 100% willing to put those tiles back in place. Here again, on a very conservative note, which right now there's a committee formed within the association to look at either repairing the building or replacing the building, and money avenues of where we're going to get the money from. Nothing's finalized yet. We're looking at probably on a conservative basis of fixing a building of 150 grand. And honestly, we don't know where we're getting that money from at this point. To replace a building, we're probably looking at from 500 grand on up, depending on the size of the building. And I can let Ron talk about NFPA of what that has done to the construction of new buildings.
Okay, stand.
But no, actually, whatever makes you comfortable.
When we built the last building 10 years ago, we were able to meet some standards, and the standards have since been changed and upgraded, and they continue to do that. And today, to conform and comply to NFPA 1403, we would probably have to put temperature recording devices in, mechanical ventilation systems to ensure temperature decrease in an emergency, and a bunch of other things which we do not have in the present building. At this time, we can continue to operate our present building under the old standards, but if we build a new one, we'll have to review and probably have to conform and comply to the newer standards, which will cost us a lot more in our estimate for projected cost. Unfortunately, when the building was built, the expectation was hopefully to achieve 20 years of service. And we could have done that absent the leaks. The leaks caused us to lose 10 years of life in the building. And that's what brings us to the point at this time that we need to communicate the dollars that we're looking at as a county organization. I'll only add one more thing and I'll give it to Chuck. Our goal as the Lebanon County Firefighters Association, which is a combination of the fire chiefs and the firemen in past years, is to provide cost-effective training to every fire company in Lebanon County. And we've done that, and that's what we're here for. So everyone that serves on the fire school committee, on the fire fighters organization, are all volunteers from the fire area. And they give their time not only to fire companies, but to the operation of this facility. And we would like to continue to do that, but we're serving some notice and asking for some ideas and help at this time. Thank you.
Between EMA and between the Lebanon County Firefighters Association, I think that needs to grow. He has talked about, can you guys get grants? Well, just so you know that we cannot get grants to build buildings right now down there. There are no grants available in the fire service for fire schools. We have talked to Ed Mann's office, which is the Commissioner of Pennsylvania, Fire Commissioner of Pennsylvania, and there are just no grants available. We informally talked with Senator Falmer, Mark Gingrich, all of them. And unfortunately, as you all know, money's tough right now.
And Holden's office.
And Holden's office, actually. Actually, Commissioner Stoll, it all starts with training. If you don't get trained, you can't go fight fires.
And I empathize with these guys. What little bit of training service we have available in this county needs to be built up and supported, not made go away. And all I suggested to Chuck was, if we're going to go out and try and find funding for this, I think we look better as a community if we all agree that this is a priority and that we can all kind of stand behind the same project and stand behind the needs